finding meaning in the mundane. This is something I feel like I've been wrestling through all the time in this season. As days turn into weeks, turn into months, I have lost all sense of time. And it seems like every single moment is just monotonous and the same thing over and over and over again. It's hard to distinguish any difference in what I'm doing. And as I've been sitting in this season, I've been feeling some of the pressure and the guilt of that. I've been asking myself the question, how do I find meaning in the mundane moments? How do I find a sense of purpose in the monotonous everyday tasks that seem to just mesh together in the midst of all of this? And as I've been wrestling through that, and as I've been thinking through what does that look like, I was reminded of what one of my professors had me do every single class period when I was in grad school. He'd have us recite the same phrase every single morning. And the phrase is this. It says, I am one in whom God dwells and delights, and I live along with others in the unshakable kingdom of God. I am one in whom God dwells and delights, and I live along with others in the unshakable kingdom of God. I found myself trying to say this to myself every single morning now in this season of quarantine and staying at home, as a reminder of who I truly am, what my identity is, and what my purpose is. It starts off by saying, I am one in whom God dwells and delights. I am one in whom God chooses to live with, to dwell, to put up a permanent resonance with. I am one in whom God dwells, and not that he has to, but he delights in it. And I want to remind you of the truth that God chooses to be with you, and he delights in that. He delights in who you are. He delights in what you spend your day doing. God dwells and delights in you. And this phrase goes on and says, and I live along with others. This reminder that I'm not alone, that there's other people in this with me, that I'm not isolated in my own home, but that every single person around me is actually going through the same thing in their own space. And maybe you need to hear this morning that you are not alone. I live along with others in this season. And it ends with this phrase, in the unshakable kingdom of God. In the unshakable and the unrattable and this foundation that cannot be moved kingdom of God. Like that is where you live. And that is a beautiful thing. And may you be reminded in this time that your foundation and your hope is in the unshakable kingdom of God. That you get to live into God's kingdom, and that is a beautiful thing, and that is a gift that is to behold, and that is what gives us purpose. That aside from what happens in the tasks that we do or don't do, and the work that we hope to do, and the work that maybe we don't do throughout a day, so we're stuck in this season, that your hope and your purpose can be in the fact that God dwells and delights with you as you find yourself established in the unshakable kingdom of God. May that be your hope in this season. That you live in the unshakable kingdom of God, that you're not alone, that God delights in being with you.